Let's go ahead and we'll begin in a wide stance child's pose. So I want you to bring your knees to the width of the mat, bring the tops of your feet to rest, slowly lower your hips down onto your heels, walk the fingertips away down onto the mat and let your forehead come to rest on the mat. Your belly will fall in between the thighs and I'll join you there momentarily. Let me get the music going. And just use this time to start to slow down the mind, slow down the breath. Let your shoulder blades soften down the length of the spine. And see if you can breathe in for a count of 1, 2, 3, and out for 3, 2, 1. Let there be a slight bend in the elbows. Think about really softening the arms back down into their sockets. Feel the shoulders release away from the ears. With every deep breath in, draw that air in through the nose, fill up the lungs, and as you exhale, can you lower the seat down just a little bit closer to the heels. And just use this time at the beginning of our practice to let go of everything that may have transpired throughout your day. Allow yourself this time to just connect to your breath, connect to your mat, and connect to your practice. Remember to breathe in for a steady, even count, and breathe out for that same amount of time. Awesome job. We'll be here for just a few more moments. You should start to feel the hips starting to open up. Really let the shoulders soften down the length of the spine. And if you'd like to, go ahead and set an intention for your practice today. The intention can be just something that you can center your thoughts on when the mind begins to wander. It can be as simple as maintaining the steady breath for the duration of our practice. Maybe you're looking to be a bit more mindful with your movement. Or you're looking just to let go and enjoy your practice today, whatever it may be. Try to let go of everything else and just focus on that intention. Go ahead and finish out that breath cycle here. On your next inhale, draw the eyes forward, plant the fingertips into the mat, hover the elbows slightly off. So your gaze is to the front side of the room. Feel that engagement through the shoulders, biceps, and triceps, through the upper body. Take a deep breath in here at the center. As you exhale, walk the fingertips over towards the left. Press your hips over towards the right. Get a little side body stretch in. Really think about reaching those right fingertips all the way into that left corner of the room. Instead of thinking about compression through the left, I want you to think about lengthening through the right. Easing some tension here. On that next breath in, we walk the fingertips back to the center. And as you breathe out, walk the fingertips towards the right. Press your hips over towards the left. Again, think about reaching those left fingertips as far as they'll go into that right corner of the room. Let your eyes gently peek out underneath that left shoulder. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. On that next inhale, we walk the fingertips back into the center of the mat. Exhale, soften back down. As you breathe in, we'll start to lift the hips off of the heels, coming onto all fours. Adjust the palms of the hands to come underneath the shoulders. Adjust the knees to come underneath the hips. You can either curl the toes in towards the mat for a little stability, or you can plant the tops of the feet in towards the mat to ease some tension out of the ankles. Now that we're in our tabletop position, we're going to start to loosen up through that spinal column, moving through a few rounds of cow and cat. As you breathe in, lift through the head and heart, sink through the belly, draw the eyes up towards the sky for cow. Exhale, round out through the spine, press up through the shoulders, chin to chest for cat. Inhale, find your cow. And exhale, find your cat. Let that breath lead and guide your movements today. Inhale to lift through the head and heart. And exhale, rounding out through the spine, chin to chest, press up through the shoulders for cat. And let's come back into that neutral tabletop position and just start to loosen up through the body. You're welcome to rotate the hips, maybe clockwise and counterclockwise. Let yourself find some organic movement in the body, whatever feels good for you today. Maybe just shaking the hips from side to side, wagging that tail, shaking the head, yes. Shaking the head now. Let's come back into that tabletop position when you're ready. Start to warm up through the core. As you breathe in, lift that right arm in line with your right ear. Keep left shoulder stacked over left wrist. Extend the opposite left leg to the back edge of your mat. And then as you inhale, lift left leg in line with left hip. Keep those left toes gently curled in towards the shin. Try not to open out through that left thigh. Keep the left thigh drawn down towards the mat and keep breathing here. We want to avoid holding a breath. Breathe in through the nose. And as you exhale, gently release back down into that tabletop position. Let's take it to the other side. Inhale, we'll lift left arm in line with left ear. Exhale, extend right leg towards the back edge of your mat. Inhale, slowly lift right leg in line with right hip. If you feel that low back starting to arch, lower the right leg down for a moment, re-engage to the core, lift that belly button up towards the spine to start to find your core stability here. And that way we're not adding any extra tension into that low back. When you're ready, take that breath in and exhale, release down into your tabletop position. Let's start to plant the toes in towards the mat. On that next breath in, lift the hips up towards the sky. Exhale, release the heels down towards the mat, down dog. And let's cut out our legs in that first down dog. Take your time, bend one knee and then the other. Whatever leg is extended, think about drawing that leg's heel all the way to the mat. Get a little hamstring and calf stretch there. If you find that your weight is in towards the wrists today, take a moment, really grip through the mat with the fingertips to ease that body weight off of the wrists. Try to keep the neck in a neutral position. And when you're ready, let's come into our center down dog. If the hamstrings are feeling really tight, I encourage you to bend through the knees to maintain that inverted V shape. And again, check in with the shoulders. If you feel them hunching up towards the ears, take a moment, soften through the shoulders. Let the arms relax and release back into the sockets. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Step your right foot up to meet the hands. Your left foot comes up to meet the hands. Our first forward fold. Bending the knees as much as you'd like to really let the belly rest on the thighs. The crown of the head reaches down towards the earth. Your gaze is to the back side of the room. Hand can gently rest on the mat. They can rest on the ankles, or if you prefer, reach for opposite elbows. Create a box for the crown of your head. And maybe just gently sway from side to side. Let that low back tension release and melt away. Remember to keep breathing here, especially in these inversions. Whenever you're ready, come back to that center forward fold. Inhale, slowly come up into a halfway lift. Let the palms of the hands come to rest onto the shins. Think about pressing the hips back, reaching the head and heart forward, and be sure not to lock out through the legs here. Have a slight bend in the knees. Use your core strength to maintain that stability. Breathe in and exhale, release back down, forward fold. Plant all 10 fingertips in towards the mat. Step your left foot back and then step your right foot back, moving into our first plank. So with the planks today, keep the shoulders stacked over the wrists. Think about drawing heels towards the back side of the room, or another option is to release the knees towards the mat to maintain that neutral spinal column. Find what feels good for you. On that next breath in, lean that plank slightly forward. Exhale, lower all the way down onto the mat. Let the belly come to rest. Chin rests off the mat. Plant the tops of the feet in towards the earth. You're going to hug the elbows in along the sides of the ribcage. Spread all 10 fingertips out nice and wide. And maybe just take a moment, rotate the shoulders down the length of the spine. Let's start to open up through that heart here. We're going to keep the tops of the feet planted. Start to engage through the quads so that way you're going to feel the knees lift just slightly off of the mat. With that next deep breath in, lift just the head and heart off of the mat. The palms of the hands are going to stay resting here for your baby cobra. So do your best to keep that chin parallel to the earth. Your gaze is to the front side of the room. And if you'd like to, you can even hover the palms of the hands off of the mat. A little bit more engagement. When you're ready, exhale, release back down onto the mat and let that right temple or right cheek come to rest. Breathe in through the nose and breathe out through the nose. When you're ready, bring the chin back to the center. Take another moment, rotate the shoulder blades down the length of the spine, hug the elbows in towards the ribcage. We're gonna move into strong Cobra. Keep the tops of the feet rooted in towards the mat. Can you start to engage through the quads? Feel the knees start to elevate and lift. Deep breath in, gently peel the head and heart off of the mat. Press into the palms of the hands until the elbows are bent at about 90 degrees. So keep the shoulders down, away from the ears. Feel your heart open to the front side of the room. You're gonna feel those triceps really wake up. Deep breath in, exhale, slowly lower back down to the mat. Let the opposite cheek come to rest. Take a breath in through the nose. Breathe out through the nose. And then bring the chin back to the center of your mat. Again, one more time, rotate shoulder blades down the length of the spine. Hug the elbows in towards the sides of the ribcage. We're gonna move all the way into full Cobra with the option to take up dog. Keeping the tops of the feet rooted in towards the mat. Deep breath in through the nose to lift the head and heart all the way off the mat until the arms are almost fully extended up. Remember to always keep that micro bend here for full Cobra. To turn this into up dog on that next breath in, see if you can hover the thighs slightly off of the mat. And then plant toes in towards the mat. Inhale, lift the hips towards the sky, release the heels, out the legs in that down dog. Beautiful work. When you're ready, meet me back in that steady center down dog. Let's get off the wrist. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale, walk step or float the feet out to meet the hands. Forward fold. And again, bend the knees as much as you'd like to really let the belly, the chest rest on the thighs here. The crown of the head reaches down towards the earth. Your gaze is to the back side of the room. Let's start to open up through the shoulders with a little bit of a shoulder bind here. Keeping the crown of the head reaching towards the mat. You're gonna inhale with just the fingertips up towards the sky. Interlace the fingertips together, creating palms of the hands. Then inhale, extend that fist up towards the sky, squeezing shoulder blades. Deep breaths in, steady breaths out. And when you're ready on that next exhale, soften the arms back down towards the earth. Fingertips rest in front of the toes. On your next inhale, we'll reverse swan dive, sweep the fingertips in a big circle, all the way up towards the sky, coming into our front extended mountain. Your feet are about hips width distance apart, biceps are by the ears. Take a deep breath in, draw your gaze to the front side of the room. As you exhale, you soften the shoulder blades down the length of the spine. From here, you're going to take a steeple grip with the fingers, interlacing the lower three fingers, while index fingers reach towards the ceiling. Breathe in through the nose. Exhale, we'll start to fold over to that left side of the room. Keep your shoulders and hips square to the front. Think about pressing that right hip over, away to that side of the room. Inhale, we'll come back to the center. Exhale, side body stretch to the opposite side. Remember to keep breathing here. Inhale to the center. Exhale, hands to heart center. We're going to move through some chairs now. With the feet hips width distance apart, take a deep breath in through the nose. As you exhale, hinge through the hips, bend through the knees, shift your weight back towards the hips and in towards the heels. A great balance check is to lift all 10 toes and then gently set them back down onto the mat. You want that body to be inclined at about 45 degrees. Hands are at heart center. The gaze can either be towards the front side of the room or slightly down towards the mat to help you feel more centered and rooted here. Breathe in to lengthen through that spinal column. Exhale, can you lower the seat down another inch? Another breath in. And as you exhale, release all the way into that forward fold. Hopefully the hamstrings are starting to feel a little bit more open now. Now we're going to work into a pyramid pose to really get them to release. So from here, keeping the feet hips width distance apart, I want you to shift that weight slightly over into this right foot. All 10 fingertips are going to press into the mat in front of your toes. Then through that right knee, breathe in, and then step that left foot 2 feet to the back edge of your mat. You can start off with a more narrow stance if this feels more comfortable today, with a deeper bend in that front right knee. And as you feel more comfortable, you can widen that stance. So a couple things to keep in mind here for alignment. You're going to feel this left hip want to open up towards the sky. I really encourage you to bend through that knee. Keep left hip pointed down towards the mat to start. Use your fingertips to stay elevated. Breathe in, and as you exhale, lengthen a little bit more. Press that right thigh to the back side of the room. Inhale, maybe soften it out. Exhale, press right thigh to the back edge of the room. One more deep breath in. Breath out. And then bend deeply through that front right knee. Step your left foot back up to meet the right. Forward fold. Inhale, take a halfway lift for a little reprieve. Create that nice strong flat back. Keep the shoulders away from the ears. Slight bend through the knees. Exhale, release back down to the mat. Forward fold. Again, planting fingertips in front of the toes. Shift your weight slightly over into this left foot. Keep the left foot rooted, bend through left knee. Deep breath in through the nose. Exhale, step right foot 2 to 3 feet to the back edge of the mat. And again, you can always start off with that more narrow stance with this left knee deeply bent. If you feel more comfortable, move with your breath. Inhale, lengthen, and maybe exhale, soften through that left foot. Inhale, press left side to the back edge of the room. Exhale, release that tension. Check in with that right knee, that right hip. Make sure they're not opening out towards that right side of the room. Whenever you're ready, deep breath in, final exhale here, and then inhale, step that right foot up to meet the left, plant all 10 fingertips firmly in towards the mat. Walk, step, or float the feet away, coming in to that high plank. Let's move through a half series at vinyasa. Inhale, lean that plank forward. Exhale, low plank, hugging elbows by the rib cage or all the way down towards the mat. Plant tops of the feet towards the mat. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Head off to the left. Or enjoy that steady center down dog. And whenever you're ready, take a deep breath in through the nose. And exhale, release the knees down towards the mat. Big toes come to touch. Press the hips back towards the heels. A quick child's pose. Catch your breath. If you feel the wrists at all feeling a little tired or fatigued, go ahead and rotate them clockwise and counterclockwise. You can also press the back side of the hands into the mat, so that way the palms lift up towards the sky. Whenever you're ready from here, let's inhale. Go ahead and lift the hips top of the heels. Come back into your tabletop position. And I want you to take these next few breaths to move through a few rounds of cow and cat, or finding that organic movement in your body. Remember to inhale to find cow, exhale to find cat, or you can move those hips clockwise, counterclockwise. Maybe shake the head yes, shake the head no, whatever feels good for you today. Just take your time here. Whenever you're ready, go ahead and lift the hips up towards the sky. Release the heels towards the mat. Moving on into another round of down dog. We're going to start moving through a warrior sequence next. So whenever you are ready in that center down dog, go ahead and take a slight bend through the knees. Inhale, lift just the right leg up towards the sky behind you. Beautiful job. Keep that right thigh pointed down towards the mat. Keep those right toes curled in towards the shin. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale, draw the right knee in towards the nose. A little core work. Inhale, lift right leg up towards the sky. Exhale, right knee to the nose, hovering that leg off of the mat. Inhale, one more time. Exhale, draw right knee to the nose. Bring the right foot all the way through, placing it in between all 10 fingers. Awesome job. So in this runner's lunge, think about keeping that right knee stacked 90 degrees directly over right ankle. Your back left heel is slightly lifted. You can press up into the fingertips. Try to draw the gaze to the front side of the room. From here, move your left hand to the inner edge of that right foot. Inhale, lift right hand up towards the sky. A little revolved runner's lunge. Do your best to keep the arms in line with the shoulders. Keep those right fingertips extended up towards the sky. Try not to let the right arm fall too far to the back side of the room or too far forward. When you're ready, exhale, release that right hand back down to frame that front right foot. We're going to slowly lower our left knee down towards the mat. Plant the top of the left foot in towards the mat. And we're going to move into our low lunge. As you breathe in, use that core strength to lift the fingertips up towards the top of the sky. Keep your shoulders and hips square to the front side of the room. Again, this right knee is still bent 90 degrees over right ankle. Use that core strength here. If you feel any tension at all in that back, you can lower the arms down to hands at heart center and help you to alleviate some of that tension in the balance. Remember to use your core strength here. Draw that belly button in towards the spinal column. Steady that breath. Whenever you're ready, go ahead and slowly lower back down. Fingertips frame that front right foot. We'll plant left toes in towards the mat. Inhale, lift the left knee back off runner's lunge. From here, pivot the back left toe, become parallel to the back edge of your mat, keeping the right knee bent 90 degrees. Inhale, lifting up, find warrior two. Bring both arms in line with the shoulders. Your gaze is over this front right middle finger. Right knee stays bent. And if you'd like to, you can always narrow that stance. If the legs feel a little fatigued, for a little more challenge, you can widen the stance, sink the hips down towards the mat. Remember to keep breathing here. When you're ready, we're gonna inhale, hinging just from the hips, reach those right fingertips towards the front edge of the room. Exhale, release right forearm down onto right thigh, left fingertips reach up towards the sky for supported extended side angle. If you'd like to take this into that full side angle, you can release right arm to the inner edge of that right leg, right thigh. Fingertips can either come to rest down onto the mat for a little support or for extra core work, hover those right fingertips slightly off. When you're ready, inhale, lift back up into warrior two. Exhale, cartwheel the hands all the way back down. All 10 toes face the front edge of the room, runner's lunge. We're gonna move into our pigeon from here. So go ahead and start to walk that right foot over towards the left edge of your mat. We'll start off by tucking right toes in towards left hip crease. Release left knee down towards the mat. Top of the left hip points in towards the left. First check here to make sure the hips are centered. If you're rolling over into that right hip, take a moment, find your balance, bring the palms of the hands, shoulders width apart, and really keep those right toes in towards left hip crease. Just let yourself breathe. Slow down that heart rate. You're welcome to take some cleansing breaths here. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. If you'd like to open up through this right hip flexor a little bit more, start to bring that right shin a little bit more parallel to the front edge of your mat. You don't have to go as far as I'm going. Find what feels good for you, and maybe lower down onto the forearm. If you prefer, you can turn this all the way into sleeping pigeon by stacking the palms on top of each other, opening the elbows to the sides of the room, maybe letting that forehead rest on those two stacked palms or two stacked fists if you like a little more. Remember to keep the weight centered in between the hips. And whenever you're ready, we'll inhale slowly, lift back up onto the palms of the hands. Bring the palms of the hands, shoulders to the front. Remember to have that micro bend into the elbows. Plant your back left toes in towards the mat. Inhale, lift left knee off the mat. Gather up that core strength. Inhale, bring right knee by right elbow. And then exhale, extend right leg to the back edge of your mat for that high plank or modified plank. When you're ready, take that vinyasa. Inhale, lean that plank forward. Exhale, low plank or all the way down towards the mat. Inhale, up dog. And exhale, down dog. Nice job. Breathe deeply here. This is a great time to take those cleansing breaths. You find that you have a little too much heat in the body. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth to release the heat. And as you finish that exhale, go ahead and slowly lower the knees down towards the mat. Big toes to touch, hips press back towards the heels. Another child's pose. Or if your shoulders are feeling a little tight, you can turn this into embryo, sweeping fingertips towards the heels. And just let yourself breathe here. Maybe check back in with your intention, the one that you set at the beginning of our practice. Check in with how you feel today on the mat. And then we're going to take that series to the opposite side. Whenever you're ready, walk those fingertips back to the front edge of the mat if you were in embryo. For those fallen child's pose now, inhale, lift the hips off of the heels, Coming into that tabletop position. You can take a quick round of cow and cat, or whenever you're ready, plant toes in towards the mat. Inhale, lift the hips, release the heels, down dog. Take your time. And from here, let's go ahead and find those three-legged dogs to the opposite side. Make sure you're gripping the mat with the fingertips. Don't let the weight shift into the wrists. As you inhale, lift the left leg up towards the sky, directly behind you. Keep those left toes curled into the shin. Left thigh points down towards the earth. Breathe in through the nose, a little bit of core work. Exhale, knee to nose. Keep that leg lifted. Inhale, lift left leg to the sky. Exhale, left knee to the nose. One more inhale, lift that left leg, three-legged dog. Exhale, left knee to the nose, step left foot in between. All 10 fingers, runner's lunge, beautiful job. Left knee is stacked over left ankle. If you want to, you can scoop that back front leg up, whatever feels more comfortable for you today. From here, move that right hand to the inner edge of that left palm of the foot. Inhale, slowly lift left arm up towards the sky. Nice little twist here. Keep your gaze just over to the left side of the room. Reach those left fingertips up towards the sky. Feel that openness in your heart. When you're ready, exhale, release left hand to come back down. Frame that front left foot. Bring the fingertips underneath the shoulders. Release right knee down towards the mat. Thank the top of the right foot into the mat. Make sure left knee is stacked over left ankle. Use that core strength. Inhale, lift up into low lunge. You may find that this left knee has a tendency to fall out over towards the pinky toes. Really encourage you to do your best to think about aligning that left knee in line with that second toe. Your shoulders and hips square to the front side of the room. Your fingertips are reaching towards the sky. You soften the shoulders down the length of the spine. And again, if you prefer, hands can always come to front. Make sure that core is engaged even here to help you to maintain the integrity of this Tadasana. Wherever you are at, slowly start to release the fingertips back down towards the mat. Frame that front left foot. We're going to plant right toes in towards the mat. Inhale, lift that back right knee off the mat. Pivot, right toes over to point towards the right side of the room. Let's move into warrior two to this side. Inhale, use that core strength, rise up. Left knee is still bent over left ankle. Your arms are in line with the shoulders. If you prefer, hands can always come to rest on the hips for a moment. Keep that gaze over that front left middle finger. And when you're ready, you can do just through the hips. Reach the left fingertips towards the front edge of the room. Release the left forearm down onto the left thigh. Right fingertips reach up towards the sky. Supported side angle to start. If you prefer, you can always turn this into that full side angle. The left fingertips need to come down towards the mat for a little extra support. For that core challenge, try to hover those left fingertips right in top of the mat. Whenever you're ready, we'll inhale, rise up, warrior two. Exhale, cartwheel the hands all the way down, all 10 toes point towards the front side of the room. Runners lunge. From here, let's make our way into pigeon on the other side. You're gonna walk that left foot over towards the right edge of your mat. Tuck those left toes in towards that right hip crease. Release right knee down towards the mat. The top of the right foot comes down to rest up to the mat. Your hands are about shoulders width apart. Make sure you're not rolling over into the soft hip. Find that center balance in between. You can always stay a little more lifted here. You can come on down towards the forearms. Or if you'd like to feel that deeper hip opener on that left side, you can bring that left shin a little bit more parallel to the front edge of the mat. Beautiful job. Even here in this pigeon pose, try to think about maintaining that open heart, that broad chest. You can take whatever variation that you took on the other side, whether you stayed on the forearms, or you stack those palms of the hands together, or stack this together. Just allow yourself this time. Breathe. Slow the breath back down. Release that tension out of that hip flexor. And then from here, go ahead and inhale, walk back up onto the palms of the hands. Make sure the palms of the hands are about shoulders width apart. We'll plant right toes in towards the mat. Lift that right knee off. Gather up that core strength. Inhale, bring left knee to left elbow. Exhale, extend left leg to the back edge of the mat. High plank, or again, modified plank. Move your way through that vinyasa. Inhale, lean your plank forward. Exhale, low plank. Inhale, up dog. And exhale, down dog. And out through those legs. Let's give the wrists a little bit of a break here. When you're ready, coming to your center, down dog. Breathe in through the nose. Exhale, release knees to the width of the mats. Big toes to touch. Let the belly fall in between the thighs as the hips reach towards the heels. Really soften through the elbows here. And then flip the hands to the back side of the hands are pressing in towards the mat. The palms will reach up towards the sky. Get a little stretch to the wrist. We have just a little bit more balance work to go before we move into the cool down of our practice today. And before we move our way into that final Shavasana. Take those cleansing breaths here. If you'd like an opportunity, slow the breath back down, slow the heart rate, and release the heat. And then whenever you're ready, bring the palms of the hands back in towards the mat. Return to that steady, even pace breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. And on that next breath in, lift the hips off of the heels, making your way into your tabletop position, adjusting knees to come underneath the hips, shoulders over the wrists. And let's get off the fence here. Plant toes in towards the mat. Inhale, hips towards the sky, heels towards the earth. Breathe in to walk, step the foot, the feet up to meet the hands. Forward fold and reach for opposite elbows. Let yourself sway to the right and sway to the left. And you're welcome to take any bind that you would like to take here in this forward fold. If the shoulders are still tight, you can take that shoulder bind once again. If you'd like to get a little deeper into the hamstrings, you can always wrap the forearms around the back side of the calves. Really tuck the chin towards the chest, bend through the knees, and as you breathe in, lift the hips a little higher towards the sky. Just let yourself breathe and relax. And from here, we're going to move into or release that bind. Let the fingertips come in front of the toes. Inhale. Find that halfway lift. Nice strong flat back. Press the hips towards the back side of the room. Head and heart reaches forward. And then slowly roll up one vertebrae at a time from here. Let the head be the last thing that lifts as you make your way into your mountain pose Tadasana today. Palms of the hands come down by the hips. Maybe take a moment, close down the eyes, breathe in through the nose, and exhale everyone side out through the mouth. Another deep breath in through the nose. Another exhale, side out through the mouth. One more cleansing breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And come back into that steady, even pace breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. On that next inhale, open up through the eyes. Draw your gaze to the front side of the room. We'll inhale, sweep our fingertips all the way up towards the sky. Exhale, bring your hands to heart center. I'll pivot over towards you. Go ahead and bring the feet hips width distance apart. Make sure you're about centered on your mat. We're going to move through some balance work. From here, start to shift that weight over to that standing left leg. I will mirror you guys. As you breathe in, start to lift that opposite right leg 90 degrees off of the mat. Keep right toes curled in towards the shin. If you want to, you can bring the hands onto the hips to make sure they're in neutral alignment. Oftentimes, you're going to find this right hip will want to lift a little higher than that left. If that's the case, lower that right foot back down. Make sure the hips are neutral, and then re-engage through the quads to lift that right leg up a little higher. From here, take a deep breath in. As you exhale, open right knee over towards the right side of the room. And then gently release that right palm of the foot either down onto the lower calf, down onto a kickstand, or all the way up onto that inner thigh. Really avoid pressing that right palm of the foot on the knee though. We want to avoid adding any tension or pressure onto our joints. And if you come out of that balance, it's okay. Take your time, come back in slowly and with control. Beautiful trees, everyone. When you're ready, slowly release that right palm of the foot off of that standing balancing left leg. Inhale, come back into your stork. Exhale, set right foot down towards the mat. Maybe shake the tension out of that balancing leg. Take that over to the other side. So when you're ready, hands are at heart center. Feet or hips width distance apart. Start to shift your weight over to that opposite leg. It should be that right leg, but if you start on the other side, no worries. We're bringing that balance into our practice and into our bodies. With that next breath in, lift that left leg 90 degrees off of the mat. And again, you can bring the hands onto the hips. Check your balance. Make sure those left toes are curled up towards the shin. If you find this left hip, your right hip is a little high. Lower that leg back down. Make sure the hips are neutral. Re-engage with that quad. Beautiful work. Whenever you're ready, deep breath in. Exhale, open left knee over towards the side of the room. And then gently release left palm of the foot either on that lower calf, down at a kickstand, or all the way up onto that inner thigh. Just avoid placing it on that knee. Do your best to keep your shoulders and hips square to the front. Try to focus your gaze on something still and unmoving. And from here, release that left palm of the foot off of that standing balancing leg. Inhale, slowly bring left knee back in towards the center for stork. Release left leg down towards the mat. And you shake out that tension in those balancing legs. We're going to move through figure four coming up next with the option to turn it into a seated figure four if you'd like. Whenever you're ready, hands are at heart center, feet or shoulders width apart. This is that last little bit, guys. You got it. Start to shift your weight once again over to that standing left leg. It won't take as long here. Whenever you feel ready, inhale, lift opposite right leg off of the mat. And again, the hip should be in a neutral alignment. Try not to let that right hip come up higher than the left. Open right knee over towards the side of the room. And then we'll cross right ankle to rest on top of left thigh. If you'd like to, you can use this right hand, gently guide that right knee down towards the mat and over towards the right side of the room. You can take this in as standing figure four. For a little more challenge, take a deep breath in. Exhale, press hinge through the hips. Press the sit bones towards the back side of the room, coming into your seated figure four. Do your best to keep this right knee balanced and about parallel to the earth. This is always optional. You can always take that standing variation. When you're ready from here, inhale slowly. Use that core strength. Rise back up to stand. Release that ankle off that balancing leg. Inhale, back to the center. Soften that foot down towards the mat. Shake out that tension out of the legs. Whenever you're ready, meet me back in the center of your mat, standing Tadasana. Feet are hips width distance apart. Hands are at heart center. Start to shift the weight over to that opposite balancing leg. Over towards that right leg now. And when you're ready, inhale, lift left leg 90 degrees off the mat. Again, check in with the hips. Don't let that left hip come up higher than the right. Let them do their best to stay neutral. Curl those toes in towards the shin. When you're ready, deep breath in. Exhale, open the knee towards the side of the room. Cross that left ankle on top of right thigh. And again, you can use that left hand, maybe gently guide that left knee over towards the left side of the room and gently down towards the earth. You can stay standing here. Keep the gaze on something still and unmoving, or deep breath in, exhale, hinge through the hips, bend the knees, press the sit bones towards the back side of the room, seated figure four. You're gonna feel this left knee want to dip down towards the mat. Really use that quad strength. Keep that left knee lifted. Beautiful job. Keep breathing. Your hands at heart center. Whenever you're ready, inhale, slowly rise back up to stand. Release that left leg off of that balancing right. Inhale to the center. Exhale. Release that leg down towards the mat. Really shake out that tension out of the toes, out of the legs. From here, we'll inhale, lift fingertips all the way up towards the sky. Press the palms of the hands together. Maybe lift the gaze up towards the ceiling. Exhale, swan dive all the way down. Forward, forward. Let yourself breathe here. Finish off our practice with just 2 more rounds of those half series, those vinyasas. We're making our way into that cool down. Lay all 10 fingertips onto the mat. You can walk, step, or float the feet away. Half plank from that high plank. Inhale, lean forward. Exhale, low plank. Inhale, up dog. And exhale, down dog. One more round. Inhale, high plank. Inhale, plank forward a little bit more. Exhale, low plank. Inhale, up dog. And exhale, down dog. Rock through the flanks. Enjoy this final down dog. And then inverted V shape for the last time. Deep breath in through the nose. Exhale, release the knees down towards the mat. Press the hips back towards the heels, child. Just let yourself be relaxed. You won't be here for super long. If you prefer, you can always turn this into embryo. Wrapping the hands towards the heels, softening the shoulders, down towards the earth. Just letting that forehead rest on the mat. And whenever you're ready from here, reach the fingertips back again towards the front edge of the room. You're in embryo. Slowly walk the hands in towards the knees to help you press up into a seated hero's pose. So the hips are still resting on the heels, your shins are resting on the mat. Let your hands come to rest on the inner thighs, closing down the eyes. Take a deep breath in through the nose, and exhale, side out through the mouth. Breathe in through the nose, and exhale, side out through the mouth. One more cleansing breath here. Deep breath in through the nose, and exhale, side out through the mouth. Return to that breath in through the nose and out through the nose. Release the hands down onto the mat, framing the width of the hips, and we'll just gently move the feet out from underneath us. Extend the legs down the length of the mat. Let your sit bones root and connect to the mat. We're going to take a quick staff pose. So bring the palms of the hands to frame the width of your hips. Take a moment, rotate shoulders down the length of the spine. Make sure the toes are gently curled in towards the shin. From here, deep breath in, shift the weight into the fingertips, lift the sit bones off of the mat. Feel that tension release out of your low back. Maintain that nice open heart. Deep breath in, exhale, soften that tension out. Inhale, reach your fingertips up towards the sky. Exhale, hinging just through the hips. Release the fingertips down towards the ankles or the shins, or if you prefer, around towards the tips. With this forward fold, I really encourage you guys to avoid rounding out through the shoulders like this. Instead, think about finding that length in that spinal column. You can keep the gaze lifted. Breathe in to lengthen a little more. Exhale, maybe fold a little deeper. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to fold. One more time. And then we'll inhale, lift the fingertips all the way back up to the sky. Exhale, bring your hands to heart center. You can release the hands down towards the hips. If you need to adjust yourself on the mat, go ahead. Bend the knees, let the palms of the feet come to rest into the mat, and then just slowly lower the spinal column to rest on the mat. Beautiful job. Can you walk the heels in a little closer towards the glutes? Release the shoulder blades till they flatten to the mat. Frame the width of the hips with the hands. Take a deep breath in through the nose to lift the hips off the mat. Squeeze through the glutes. Shift the weight into the shoulder blades. If you feel any tension at all in that low back, I encourage you to maybe soften the hips down about half an inch. Use that core strength and re-engage through the glutes. If you'd like to lift the hips a little higher. There should be no tension in the neck. Let your shoulders support you here. The chin is gently lifting away from the chest. And then exhale, soften the seat down towards the mat. Inhale, bring both knees in towards the chest. And release all 10 fingers and inch underneath the kneecaps and maybe sway it to the left. And then sway it to the right. Massage out that low back. And then when you're ready from here, come to the center of your mat. And release all 10 fingers underneath that left kneecap. Extend the right leg down the length of your mat. And you can let this be more of a passive stretch, just letting that left knee come wherever it may. You can make this become more of an active stretch by engaging through the biceps, hugging that knee a little closer in towards the heart. Make sure that low back is flush into the mat. Let it relax, support that lumbar spine here. Whenever you're ready, inhale, reach the right hand up towards the sky. Bring that right hand to the outer edge of that bent left knee, and then we're going to guide that left knee across the body over towards the right side of the room. Open your arms in line with the shoulders, and make sure the shoulder blades are resting in the mat. That means maybe you don't twist as deeply. That right leg or that left leg stays hanging out in space today. That's a great place to be. Here, just adding a gentle twist in while maintaining that openness in your heart. Eyes fall to the knee. And as you inhale, bring left knee back into the center of the body. Quick half windmilling pose. Exhale, left leg down onto the mat. Inhale, drop right knee in towards the heart. Again, this can be more of a passive stretch, just letting that right knee come wherever it naturally may. You can make it more of an active stretch by really hugging that knee in towards the heart. Keep all 10 toes gently flexed here. We want to protect our knees. When you're ready, inhale, lift the left hand up towards the sky. Place the left hand on the outer edge of that right knee. Gently guide that right knee over towards the left side of the room. Open your arms in line with the shoulders. And again, make sure the shoulder blades are maintaining that connection to the earth. That means you keep that right leg a little bit more lifted. That's a great place to be. Let your eyes fall opposite of the knee. Maybe start even to close down that gaze, shutting down the eyes. Just let yourself breathe. Release. Inhale, go ahead and bring that knee back into the center of the body. Another quick half windmill pose. And exhale, release that right leg all the way down onto the mat. And from here, take any final stretches that you would like to take, whatever feels good in your body, before we make our way into Tadasana. Maybe that's a happy baby. Maybe it's legs up the wall. I want you to find the spine, to find what feels good for you. Take this time to listen to your body. So when you're simply ready, go ahead and let the legs come to rest on the mat. Let them gently extend from the hips. Whatever feels natural and comfortable for you. The hands can come down to rest by the hips. You can keep the palms of the hands planted in towards the mat if you'd like to feel a little more centered and grounded to your practice. You can bring the hands, one hand on the belly, one hand on the heart if you'd like to maintain that connection to the self today, to yourself today. Or if you prefer, you can bring the palms of the hands to open up towards the sky, to open yourself up for a little bit more acceptance. Acceptance, the end of acceptance of the will of the universe. But most importantly, acceptance of yourself as you exist in this moment in time. If you haven't done so, go ahead. Close down the eyes, shutting down the gaze. Relax the jaw a little bit more, let it hang heavy. Release that furrow into the ground. Every breath in, just feel the chest. With every breath out, feel it release. Let go. Any tension still coming on. Any thoughts that you need to make the way. whenever you're ready from here, you can begin to wiggle the fingertips, wiggle the toes, bringing that life and sensation slowly back in. Physical being. Here. When you're ready, gently roll over onto one side of the mat. It doesn't matter too much which side. You can let the head rest in with an elbow. Keep the eyes closed. Allow yourself to gently awaken to. When you're ready, go ahead and press up into an easy seated position. You can let one leg cross on top of the other. Bring the hands onto the inner thighs for a moment, finding that connection to yourself. And then we'll inhale, sweep the fingertips up towards the sky, press the palms together. Exhale, release your hands to heart center. Thank you so much for sharing in your practice with me this evening. It is truly an honor and a blessing to see each and every single one of you on the mat. And all that is full of love and light within me honors and recognizes all that is full of that love and light within you. Namaste.